YouTube, what up? And right now I got my boy Swish out. Steph Curry defeated the worst narrative in NBA history. And in the thumbnail, it was like he got nothing else to prove. Before I get into this video, man, shout out to the Warriors. Shout out to my boy Moses Moody from Little Rock, Arkansas, man. He won his ring in his first year, man. Shit, so we got Bobby Portis, and we got Moses. Motherfuckers from Real Deal Little Rock who got rings. Derek Fisher from Little Rock too, but he really don't even be fucking with Little Rock like that. Anyway, I don't know if Joe Johnson got a ring. I don't think Joe Johnson got a ring, but he's still 100 though. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this before the video even start. I love Steph Curry. Curry is my favorite. He's the best point guard ever to me. Even though Kyrie Irving my favorite player, I mean, of course I know Steph Curry is a greater player than Kyrie Irving. You know what I'm saying? As far as the numbers and the, you know what I'm saying, and just the impact of winning. I know that shit. But the disrespect for KD has to stop, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fam, just let Steph build his legacy and let Kevin deal with his legacy. Just because Kevin Durant had a bad playoff run this go round and the Warriors won this year doesn't take from what Kevin Durant did for the Warriors, bro. If Kevin Durant wasn't there in the past 2 years, they won them championships, Curry will only have 2 rings. You know what I'm saying? So let's not do that shit. I know he probably gonna say some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? He just crazy how that motherfuckers just be tearing down KD and shit like that. But Curry is great. Top 10 player, and just put it out there, he is not better than Kobe. Kobe my favorite player all the time, but we'll stop that shit. But Curry is definitely top 10 to me. You know what I'm saying? The greatest point guard ever to me. There's nobody else in the world that can do what he can do. You know, let's go ahead and get into this shit. Shout out to Swish Out. He won't never copyright my shit or nothing like this, so I appreciate that shit. But let's go ahead and get into this shit real quick.
Golden State Warriors have officially done it. They are once again NBA champions. This is crazy. Stephen Curry has finally shut the entire world up about the finals MVP chatter. Draymond can podcast all day, every day. Nobody can say a word.
Nope.
And Klay Thompson has officially had one of the greatest comebacks probably ever. I don't care how streaky Klay had been in the playoffs or whatever people were saying, and he definitely had some terrible moments. But he had his great moments as well, particularly in Game 4 in the fourth quarter, hitting huge shots. The ability to come back after missing as long as he did, give solid production in the regular season, and then come in the playoffs and give identical production. He had the exact same numbers in the regular season as to the postseason. You have to tip your hat to that. But with all that being said and all the flowers being given, I want to focus on Steph just for a quick moment. What he did, mainly in these
Enjoy Poole, the protege, man.
And his career can finally get the proper flowers it always deserved. I said,
and since I just want to point this shit out real quick. This is my last. I'm gonna let the video flow because it's gonna be a long video. But you see how Curry finally got his first Finals MVP and shit after all them titles and shit, and see how everybody just boost him up and shit like that. Everybody loving him. Nobody was giving Kobe Bryant that same love or giving that same kind of deep thought of how important that was for his legacy and his career, for him to win on his own team. You know what I'm saying? And let's not act like Steph Curry ain't have a whole bunch of help, bro. This is a solid ass team. Like we should have known this team being healthy as hell was gonna make it to the finals, at least to the Western Conference Finals, bro. This is the fucking Warriors we talking about. Same coach, same core. They can all shoot the motherfucking lights out. They have a, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
I thought he had his best regular season simply because of the circumstances, and his play elevated even through the adversity. Last year, it was kind of just Steph, Wiggs, and Dre, but mainly Steph and Dre, and predictably, that ran its course because they just didn't have enough. But this year, players came back better, more seasoned, more experienced playing in that system, and that paired with Steph allowed Steph to have his most impressive playoff run, if you ask me. I don't care what anybody says. Steph most definitely still has something left to prove. This is a narrative-driven sport. He literally had to win that finals MVP in some people's minds to put him in that echelon with a Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, even if it's unfair. And most definitely it's unfair. And we're about to get into that right now. Stephen Curry just won his first NBA Finals MVP, and I am so happy he did because that narrative is finally dead.
Yeah.
But if you watched that NBA Finals 7 years ago,
he should have won.
You know he should have won it way back then. It wasn't even close to that. Andre Iguodala played great, and I'm not taking anything away from him.
He should have
But how
won
can a
that
man
shit.
win regular season MVP and actually play better in the finals and not get rewarded for it? That's literally never happened. I've driven this point home before, but now I have to do it again because obviously it's relevant again. In the last 4 games in that NBA Finals, Steph averaged 28, 6, and 5 on ridiculous shooting splits to close the series. Also in those last 4 games, in the fourth quarter, where some people act like this man just never showed up, this man damn near averaged half his points in the fourth quarter on close to 63, 60, 90 splits. How did he not win that Finals MVP? That never made sense. Also in 2018, and I just have to debunk all these stupid ass Steph narratives because they never made sense, and I'm glad he put them to rest. But even the ones before that never made sense. Yes, Kevin Durant won the Finals MVP, and I'm not taking nothing away from him. I think he deserves it.
Man, he was going crazy in the fourth. Kevin Durant went. You know what I'm saying?
I think he was
both
sensational,
series,
and
both
he got Finals
years.
MVP deservingly so. But Stephen Curry, if you want to call him a Robin, he was one of the greatest Robins, if not the greatest Robin ever in that Finals.
That's how
Remember
Kobe
close
was,
Steph
man.
actually was to winning Finals.
That's how
MVP
Kobe was in
that
2001.
series. Remember, in games 1 and 2, he was the one averaging 31, while KD averaged 26. He had one bad game 3, while KD had the game 3. And it's like some people just brain dump how effective he really was. If you take out that one game 3 in Cleveland, and I hate doing this, but I have to do this to drive home my point. He averaged 33, 6, and 7, didn't miss a free throw on crazy splits. So, again, if that's a Robin, that's the greatest Robin of all time. Then in 2019, after already being a 3-time NBA champion, and at least 60, 70% of the reason they were
That nigga really would have 5 rings right
they
now.
lost to Toronto without Kevin Durant. But I never thought he played bad again. Did he have his most efficient shooting series of his career? No, but I look at that series almost equivalent to Giannis this year against Boston. Like, even when Giannis wasn't shooting the best, nobody would say Giannis played bad basketball. The situation arose where he lost a player, so the volume naturally went up and the efficiency naturally dipped. That happens. LeBron in 2015, I don't care what any numbers say. I don't care what the efficiency says, whatever. He put together one of the greatest NBA Finals I've ever witnessed because he was shorthanded doing everything. His efficiency would tell you otherwise, but if you watch the series, you know he didn't play bad basketball. Steph did average 30 in that series, gave you a 47-point game, and played.
Did you know that you can make a full-time income from YouTube without ever trying to grow your own channel? It's true. Back in
42 minutes a night. Like, if that's disappearing in any way, I don't know what basketball really is. Also, that 2019 year, like, yes, I know they didn't win it all, and players of that caliber, if they don't win a championship, if they don't end the playoffs winning a championship, we cancel out everything they did in quest to a championship.
There'll never be another Curry, I swear to God. Never. That's the greatest point guard I ever laid my eyes on.
Western Conference Finals of all time. He did have a 6-game streak in which he scored 30 points in every single game, which included a closeout game against Houston without Kevin Durant. He did have a top 10 scoring performance in the finals. He had a great run that year. That was the last time we seen him in the playoffs. Then this year against Boston, I don't care what anybody says. Now it's obviously 2020 hindsight, but that was one of the most versatile defenses I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, they had one of the most unique defensive duos I've ever seen. Like, you have Marcus Smart, one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, defensive player of the year, and you have, to me, the best rim protector in the league, Robert Williams. That man covers everything. Then you add
He's soft as hell, bro. Look how he run.
Defenders. Then you add Al Horford.
That nigga Robert Williams be prancing when he be running.
Then you add stocky ass
or
Grant
jogging.
Williams. Then you add Peyton Pritchard, who plays somewhat like a Matthew Dellavedova for that team. That was a great defensive team. That game 4 43-point piece that Steph put together in Boston, bro, that was so imperative. Psychologically, they could not go down 3-1. They just couldn't. Then game 6, Stephen Curry plays huge and steps up big time in the fourth quarter with 13 points. I always thought if Golden State was going to win this series, they had to win in 6. They could not go 7. Boston had just won back-to-back game 7s, so they would have all the momentum and all the advantage on their side. Also, game 7 would have been on Sunday, June 19th. Why am I emphasizing June 19th? Well, that's the exact same day they blew the game 7 against Cleveland 6 years ago. Psychologically, they couldn't do it. Steph, simply for his legacy against a well-worthy opponent, a great defense, he needed that performance to shut everybody up. People like T-Mac, you never even won a series. What does he talk about? And he did just that. He shut everybody up, so I'm proud of Steph for that. Also, Andrew Wiggins. Man, some people call him a buzz. Some people say he didn't have no dog in him, whatever. He proved everybody wrong with that crazy comeback, that crazy resurgence, that crazy rebranding, and they don't win this NBA Finals without him.
I agree.
Easily, he solidified himself as a top 5 two-way player in this league to me.
Agreed.
Like, what he did to Luka Doncic was incredible. But what he did to Jason Tatum, he
He
put
locked that
man
nigga
in the
up.
box, especially in Game 6. Also in Game 5, when Boston's defense finally honed in on Steph after that Game 4 Steph had, he took complete advantage of the open spacing he had, and once he got that one-on-one coverage, he made them pay for it every single time. And
They actually
Game
a
4 and
bucket,
5,
though.
who led everybody in rebounds? It was Andrew Wiggins. This man did all the dirty work, defending the best player, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, grabbing all the boards, averaging 14 boards in those 2 crazy pivotal games, Games 4 and 5. And offensively, he took advantage of the coverage Stephen Curry got, leaving all that spacing for the floor. This man was incredible, man. He kind of reminded me of Kawhi in 2014, where it's like you focus so much on the big three, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and Manu.
That's
and
a
in this
great
situation,
comparison.
Obviously, Steph, Clay, and Draymond Green. And then you have this outsider that does all the little things that in the grand scheme of things turn into humongous things. That's pretty much what Andrew Wiggins was. And like I said, they don't win without him.
Damn.
Also, Jordan Poole. It takes a lot of maturity and a lot of trust to completely get your minutes sliced like he did. He went from averaging 32 minutes in the first series to 17 minutes in the last 3 games, but he was averaging
nigga
14
pulling up
points
from
in those
half
17
court.
minutes. And he had some crazy momentum gaining shots towards the end of those halves. So he played huge. Also, Kevon Looney, like, he seems to be the ultimate professional. And Golden State Warriors players, they say that. He went from playing a little bit of minutes against Memphis, heavy minutes against Dallas, minimal minutes against Boston. But if you look at his per 36 minutes, his rate never lessened. He never lessened his production because of his minutes. He seems and he plays like the ultimate professional. In conclusion, because I will be dropping that Everything the 2022 playoffs proved video, I will be dropping that.
And I
very
will be
soon.
reacting to that as
But shout
well.
out to the Warriors, man. Stephen Curry, he debunked every stupid ass narrative there was. Klay Thompson came back and immediately won a championship. I mean, that's a crazy story. Draymond can podcast all he wants because in Game 6, I mean, he had his best game to me of the entire playoffs. Andrew Wiggins proved people wrong. Steve Kerr just won his 9th NBA championship. It's just a good ass story for the NBA. So, like I said, shout out to the Warriors. If you guys like this video, shout out.
Yeah, I like how he pointed out every, the important factors when it came to the players on the Warriors. Because compare those players to the 2009-2010 Lakers, or the 2000 when they win 2008 to 2009 Lakers. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like how, I ain't even finna talk about that shit. I'm gonna let Curry get all this love, man, most deserving, you know what I'm saying, whatever. If y'all like these type of videos, man, I like the video, man. Comment, subscribe. I appreciate it all, man. Fuck with y'all the next one, man.